What's up, guys? We're back. So, last episode we did some building and we got ourselves a iron farm up and running. After I ended the stream, I went ahead and built all of the remaining hoppers using the iron from these guys, and I just chopped down some trees and filled this in with some more chests. So, as it stands right now, it is filling these chests strictly based on wherever the iron golem falls and the loot lands. Now, if we wanted to sort things, we could using a sorter that I built in that world I showed you on the single player world, where we just filter all the poppies into a chest, or as I did, into a composter for free bone meal. And then you just filter the iron ingots off into another chest, or again, as I did, I filtered these into a auto crafter, which then pushed everything into another set of chests and auto crafted iron blocks, just so that way it was easier to manipulate, because these will fill up quick and the villagers will not be able to handle all of the iron until we get a boatload of them up and trading for it. So this guy is selling iron armor, but we got diamonds, so we don't need to worry about that. But he will eventually buy iron, so what we'll do is we will end up trading with him, setting up a villager to trade for iron, and then just rinse and repeat. We'll have armor, we'll have blacksmith, we'll have toolsmith, we'll have weaponsmith. What am I talking about? Blacksmith. There's no blacksmith. But we'll have an armorer, a toolsmith, and a weaponsmith, and they will all trade for iron. Now, that is not going to happen today. We're not going to be dealing with that today. What we will be dealing with is, I think I want to finally set up a skeleton farm using the spawner that we found in a previous episode, which is roughly, give or take, 100 blocks below here. So, the way we're going to do that is we're going to go navigate to that. I'm going to need myself another bucket. Let's see, do we have one in any of our chests? I'm not seeing it. I can put those in there for right now. Ah, there we go. Okay, we do have that. I am going to need myself. I want to make a bubble elevator. I can use that to light the area up. What I'm looking for is soul sand and kelp. And really we only need the one, we can just bone meal it up. So there's that. I believe, actually, I'm going to go dump all but that into a composter and get ourselves some bone meal. After we fall asleep, because last thing I need to deal with is zombies ruining my lovely village. So, here we go. Alright, we're back. We got 20 bone meal out of all those seeds. Now, you guys are probably thinking, why do you need bone meal? If you're not, you know already what I'm planning on doing. Farm's going pretty good. But what I am doing is I am going to build a bubble elevator so we can transport all the skeletons out of the area of the spawner and get them going up a elevator, get pushed over, and then fall down a chute and into an actually, no, yeah, we're going the right way. Fall down and take fall damage and get them to a point where they take just one hit to get all the loot off of them. And I'm second guessing how to get to the spawner, but I did place this little breadcrumb trail here to help me find it. So if we go this way, you know what? I messed up. There's a shock, isn't there? Isn't it? But I was supposed to grab another, whatchamacallit, bucket of water. There we go. Alright. Reason we needed this water is because we do need to make ourselves an infinite water source to push all of the skeletons over towards that elevator that we will be making. So, here we are. Okay, so let's see, that's Fortune 3. Okay, we're fine with that. I don't want to waste Silk Touch on something that's not even going to be Silk Touched. So, skeleton spawners spawn 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 blocks in each cardinal direction. And I say skeleton spawners, but the monster spawner block in general will spawn in that number, or that radius. So we want to clear out a lovely little room here for it. We want to put a block there, because the way these spawner blocks work is they can spawn 1, 2, 3, 4 in either direction, and also up 1 block and down 1 block from the center of this block. And it's based on the mob's foot position. So that means that a skeleton, since this is a skeleton spawner, could theoretically spawn on top of the block here. Obviously we don't want that, because that means it's getting trapped, it's affecting spawn rates, and all that. So we don't want to deal with that. Alrighty, we're back again. So we got the walls filled up, and we've got the monster spawner. Back there is our mine. So this is our entryway where we came in, and here's our, our little breadcrumb trail. So there's that. So now what we want to do, we are going to need ourselves a water source, an infinite water source. And I'll tell you why. Like I said, what we need to do is we're going to make a bubble elevator, and we're going to have the water all along one row pushing the mobs towards that elevator. So we're going to do boom and boom, and now this will be our cheap little infinite water source. Boom, bada bing, pushes them all this way. Okay. Now what we want to do, because they can also spawn here, in this row, we're going to go down like that. And we're going to take those, and go boop right along there. And then what we can do, I'm debating, I could either drop, you know what I can do actually? So I'll drop boom, 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 boom. Or like that. So the water source pushes them into here. Now, from there, we will have our bubble elevator here. What does that mean? That means right here, we need soul sand. Boop. And then I believe we can go boop, and there we go. Now with the bone meal, it'll grow up as far as we need it to. So, now we just dig out that row. Boom, bada bing. See, when you plant a kelp block, it creates a full water source whenever there's any water in that block space. So while this was a partial water block because of this, the moment we put the kelp block, it became a full water source. So now if we do that, while this water's flowing down, right? Then once we bone meal the kelp all the way up, they become full water blocks all the way up to here, and it becomes a bubble elevator here. However, what we want to do is build this bubble elevator up nice and tall. We have to physically remain within 16 blocks of the spawner itself, the center portion of the spawner. Okay? Now, as long as we're within that range and these lights are no longer in here, these torches, it will keep spawning. So, let's block that back up. What we will do is we're going to place a sign here and a ice block there. And what it'll do is it'll make a slick surface for each skeleton to push the other one in, and up they go, up through here. So, what we want is, it's going to be negative 65, comma, negative 45, comma, 232. Reason I needed those coordinates is because of that 16 block radius we have to remain within. That means that maximum our x coordinate can be 65. 16 on top of the negative 65. So that means either negative 81 or negative 49. That's if we're going in the positive x or negative x directions. Then we could be at 232 plus or minus 16, so 248 or 216 in the z. However, I do not believe that that is inclusive of diagonal, meaning that we cannot be 16 blocks x and 16 blocks z direction. It has to be one or the other. And then y can be a maximum of either negative 61 if we want to be further down, or further up would be negative 29. So that's where we're going to be. Negative 29 in the y direction. And actually what we'll do is we'll probably split that distance. So it'll be 8 and 8. What we want to do is we'll do 8. This is facing towards positive x. So that's what we'll do. We'll split it with x and y rather than with the z and y. So that means it will be negative 53 and negative 40 or negative 33. No, sorry, negative 57. Let's type this out. Negative 57, comma, negative 37, comma, 232. That's where our waiting spot will be. So, let's go and get to that spot. Up a daisy. Our exact waiting spot will be right Okay. So, let's get rid of all that mishmash of stuff. This is where we will wait for our skeletons. And what we're going to do is we're going to send these guys up, over, and around and have them fall right where we want them to fall, which will be on that block there. I believe it is a 21 block fall distance to keep them from dying and being a one hit. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we're at 17, 18, 19, and 20. We're just going to make it an even 20. So, now what we're going to do is we want to dig over to, for our tunnel, we're going to do negative 58, add 20 to that, so negative 16, and 232. That right there is where we will have the tunnel go to, the mob transporter. We're going to need to have the water come up to this block here because we are on, no, we're on 16, so right here. So, right like that. Ta-da! Then what we need to do is we need to dig to negative 58x. And we are at, oh, would you look at that? We're at 59. So, one block over is negative 58, and we just got to go to 232. See if this works in my favor or not. Ooh, did it? That worked too perfectly. Okay. In theory, this means our bubble elevator is going to be done and done. So, we need to go get ourselves a couple more bone meal. But once we get the bone meal, we're going to go ahead and put a sign here. I believe once we put the sign there, this will be an upward flowing water block, which will then make it all kosher, copacetic, and cool beans. Here's to hoping I don't die on this fall. Like a glove. So, let's go ahead and go grab ourselves a couple more bone meal. Once we get that, I'm actually going to grab a couple of ice blocks as well, and a sign, and we should be set for life. Alright, we're back. So I got a couple buckets of water just to be safe, some stone, or some signs, some bone meal, and some ice. Took me a little bit to kind of check my math here. I had to go into my testing world and see kind of what the radius is. So you have to be within 16 blocks of the spawner. And I wanted to know whether or not that was taxicab distance, meaning does it include, you know, if I'm 4 blocks X or Z plus 4 blocks Y, is that now considered 8 blocks, or is it like Euclidean, meaning straight line? It does appear to be Euclidean. It spawns in a sphere, and reason I had to check that is because Minecraft uses both. So what I mean is you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So okay, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. This is taxicab distance, meaning that this from this point here to that block there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. Okay, that's what taxicab distance is. Versus if I'm standing here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So instead of being 7 blocks, it's 4 blocks. That's Euclidean. Okay, it's a straight line, shortest distance between 2 points, aka Pythagorean theorem and all that stuff you learned in geometry class. So, what all does that mean? That means that we are perfectly within range of the spawner, so it should still work just fine as we are farming the whatchamacallits, the skeletons. So we are safe to go. And you know what? I don't even need to bother with that. What I'm going to do is hop in here, do that. Let's go ahead and get this stuff. Looks like it is maximum height. Yep. Maximum height it is. That's exactly what we want to see. So now we will swim all the way back down. Place our sign right there. Ooh. Okay. We'll do 2 signs. I thought I was going to need another sign just to play things safe. So, ice blocks there to push them. And then what we will do is we will come all the way back up here as well to help push them, and we will do that just temporarily. So I don't want to dump water down my channel here, my little pit. So we got that going. Let's go ahead and grab our sign once again. And now for the fun part, getting all this. Ooh, wait, hang on. No, you know what? Let's make things fun. We're gonna go bam. And then everyone, let the games begin. See if we can't beat them to the pillar, which does not look like we will. There we go. Oh, and we died. Alright, well, that's our first death. Well, second death, rather. Let's go ahead and sleep. Let's grab our cheapo armor and our cheapo sword. And we are going to run back down there, kill that skeleton, and start using our new farm to recoup all those lost levels. Last thing we could afford to lose is those two pickaxes. I mean, I'm not too bothered about the diamond armor. I can trade for more, you know, but those pickaxes are a godsend. There we go. Where'd that other... Did that skeleton despawn? Probably. There we go. Oh. Looks like this might be just a tad too much of a drop. I lied. No, it's not. Bam. Look at that. It works perfectly. So now we can do... Boop. It's working great. Now what we can do... One of the good things about that little testing that I did is it means that the maximum range you can be from a spawner, as far as distance and height, appears to be about 14 to 15 blocks in length, and then 4 or 5 blocks in height. That's about when you start to get into the range of it being a little bit finicky, as far as if you're a half block away, is that going to then turn it off, turn it back on, things like that. So what that means for us is that we did 8 and 8, so we actually have plenty of room to play around with here, and that then means we can build a little room in here, so that way our spawner, we are not stuck with just this tiny little pillar, you know? So let us get to building. What I'm going to do, I'm also going to create a filter here eventually for these bows, just to trash them, because the last thing I need is more bows. I mean, I'm good. All I really need here is the arrows and the bones. So, and there we go. Max level. So, let's go ahead and get to building this up. Son, what are y'all trying to do? Hee. I'm gonna look like a pincushion when this is all done. Oh my god. I do. I look like a pincushion. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and get this going. No more anything. Now let's repair this pickaxe again. Not too shabby, huh? Let's see what that bow has. Unbreaking 1. Meh. You quit glitching through walls. That's cheating. That is not allowed, sir. Yeah, these are all bupkis. So, now that that is all said and done, we are going to put some half slabs here. just to keep things a little bit safer, but that is neither here nor there. What I would like to do now is create yet another elevator up to the tippy top. Alright, we're back yet again. What we're going to do is we're going to do two little thingamabobs here. Very scientific term. I'm going to do two little, still can't think of the word. I am struggling today, guys. Pits, right? One, simple as that. Just one to fall down. The other one is one to go up. Crazy, right? So let's grab our cobbled deep slate. Just like that. What we're going to do, we're going to go, oof, ow, that didn't feel good. Try that again. What I would like to do, though, is put this old sand there. Let's go ahead and do this little number. We're going to make ourselves slick little infinite water source as well. Bada boom, bada bing. So there's that. And there's that. Alright, we're back yet again. We've got our way up. We've got our way down, which was a real hassle. As it turns out, there is a big cave in there in the way. So we had to get a lot of blocks to build up our little elevator tubes. But we are in good working order now. Nice long trip up to the top. Ooh, starting to getting to be bedtime too. Okay, so let us build ourselves a couple of trapdoors and a couple of fence gates. We are going to need just a skosh more water. Oh, you know what? I didn't even need to do the fence gates. I could have done a stinking door. I am going to do said stinking door too. Which means, let's see if we can't toss some of this junk in here. Like having all this crap in here. I came up after building the elevator and found this. So that's not a good sign. It means we need to start getting our villagers into our little fungin ASAP. Otherwise, we are in some serious deep kimchi, as my family likes to say. Oh yeah, and they managed to kill one of our iron golems. Thankfully, these guys just keep spawning them left, right, and center, so it's not a big deal. We can always get more. I took a stack of bones and made it into bone meal, and I made, was it a stack of bone meal to start? That wasn't enough. And then I was like, you know what, to heck with this. I'm just going to do a stack of bones into a bone meal. And that, coincidentally, was too much, go figure, because as soon as I go to hit right click and bone meal the kelp, I only had 2 more blocks to go, which was aggravating. But it is what it is. We can always use the bone meal somewhere else. So, and we did manage to find ourselves some coal. So let's go ahead and looks like they're all good to go. So we'll just top them up some. Boom. Yeah, we don't do anything with the smokers anyways. Not that big a deal. Toss that in there. Let's go ahead and plant ourselves a tree and bone meal it up. This way we can get all the wood we need for a door. And we shall be done with it. What I'm going to do is I will build a little hut over top of everything. So that way we can figure out exactly where everything is at. All those, the elevator and the drop. So, there we go. 3 doors, not bad. Toss that. Actually, you know what? While we're here, let's do this. I'm trying to do a hopper. There's the hopper. We don't even need to bother with it. Sweet. And I do still need more wood because I need to make a double chest for all the loot from the spawner. So let's do all that. There we go. Okay. So 2 chests. We will want ourselves a workbench down there and a smelting thingy, a furnace, in case, in the odd scenario that we end up having to smelt stuff. So, right. Now what we shall do to keep the mobs away. Actually, you know what? We're just going to do this. Bam. That's not what I intended to do. This one, however, we will need to do. Oh, wait. Yeah, they can get waterlogged. Duh. That. So there we go. Alright, so we got our way up and our way down. I would like to let drop. A deck on it. Okay, well we're going to do this. Boop. And oh, there it is right there. Boop. We're going to put our double chest down. We need to make that. And we need to do that only. Can we do it like that? I don't want you like that. I'm trying to get it on the inside of the block. Yes. Nice and neat. Much better. Put our torch back. There we go. I did put a bucket of lava down there, so that way we have a little trash can for stupid things like that. Let's go ahead and repair this real quick. And then we will... Ah, shoot. Will you guys stop? I mean, it's good that y'all are doing things the way I had expected, but Not quite ready for that. Bow and bow. Done and done. Now, everything's automated. So we'll just toss that in there. I don't really care about this unbreaking bow. Or that bow. So there we go. And now, everything just automatically goes in there. Sweet. We are done here, my guys. So, with all that being said, we shall vamonos. That was... I'm not a fan of that. Is what it is, though. So let's go ahead and chop that crud down. And we will put it right over here. You know what? I would like to level this out, so that way this is level with that. Let's go grab some dirt. We'll make ourselves a little shack. Yeah, we do have an extra door. Duh. Once we make the shack, we will call it quits. So let's do that, and then let's grab a whole bunch of these. And let's chisel them. And give me... I don't need the ice doy. I need these. Thank you. Okay. So, let's do this little number. Don't need you. I do need you. Thank you. Whew. That was a close call. Go ahead and toss you back down. There we go. Just trying to follow the natural pathing of the land here. Let's go to bed before monsters wreck our world here. Good news about this little doodad is now we can create ourselves a Totem of Undying farm. I have never been able to do that. So it should be fun. There, looks kinda. Kinda normal. And then we'll just do this. We don't really need all that much pizzazz going on here. This is just a little hut to make it easier to find our little holes, little elevator and whatnot. Bada boom, bada bing. That's not what I meant to do. is that. We'll place a torch on top. Meh. I was gonna gripe about it not being in the center, but there is no center because it's an even number. So, 'tis what it is. This isn't gonna work. Nope. Okay. Well then. I dare say we are just about wrapping up point here. We will just go ahead and put ourselves down a quick pressure plate so that way that door opens and closes on its own. And actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make ourselves a couple of pressure plates because we want to do the same for those trap doors. That would be quite nice, if I do say so myself. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves another. Oh, there's a sapling right there. Doy. Okay. We'll let the rest of that do its thing. Sir, I would politely request that you stop closing my door in my face. That would be absolutely lovely. One for the door to the building, one for each one of the pressure plates, and then one for the door down in the basement, or in the spawner room. Okay. Just hoping this works. I mean, in all actuality, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. Boom, boom. A little bit of a trick to get that working, but oh no, I think that's closed. Not my cup of tea, sir. This is gonna be a pain in my butt. All right. Dang it. This is going to be a very difficult process. Alright. I do like that these automatically close now. But now it's an effort to get one silly door in place. That's not going to work, because now... yes, it worked. Booyah! Okay, good enough. I was trying to do... well, actually, that's exactly what I was trying to do, so... I thought I had to get it on the inside of the block below, but I don't. So, let's find this pickaxe. Bada boom, bada bing. Toss in some bones and some arrows. We can always... do I want to trash anything? Nah. Alright. That, my friends, is a fairly inexpensive skeleton farm. Pretty efficient too. I mean, we're within range of it, so it's going to continue spawning constantly. And from there, we just sit here and wait and take a chill pill. So, that is that, guys. For the next episode, we will work towards getting all this upgraded, because this is just about it. I mean, we could probably toss a mending book on here, but we're probably going to try to do the same for at least the legs, and then get this one to, sure, if I want aqua affinity or respiration, probably respiration, really. We'll have to see. The real thing is going to be getting sword and shovel and axe. And these can be feather falling, that would be really nice. But that's that. I am now just rambling. So, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great evening or morning, whatever time it is your time. And I'll catch y'all later. Ciao.